This week with another awesome stream. This is a topic that I've been excited to cover. We're talking about Women's Appreciation Month in music, just in general. It's officially Women's History Month. That's the thing we celebrate here in the States. I think they might celebrate that pretty much everywhere else, but for proven knowledge for the brand that I run, it's Women's Appreciation Month, and we've actually been doing that now this is the fourth year in a row of doing Women's Appreciation Month, and it was an idea that originally came to me through really just doing the podcast and having discussions with different women artists out there, pretty much just about their struggles, whether it's breaking into the industry or trying to get a certain career that they might not have access to, or they might not have equal opportunities to be able to do so. I just kept hearing a lot of repeated stories and just almost horror stories of these instances happening. And I kind of thought, what would be a good way to, just support women in music, in the industry, and especially the independent artists that I'm, connected with, people that I would consider colleagues and friends. How can I help as, a male in the industry? Because obviously, as men, we have a lot of opportunities, but I think it's also our job to say, how can we extend a hand to somebody else that might not have the same opportunities. So that's just kind of like what I thought, and I was like, how can I do that in a way that, kind of benefits a lot of different people? So I kind of came up with that idea of doing the Appreciation Month, doing highlighted posts. We mostly do it on Instagram, but we do it on pretty much all the social platforms at this point. This year we had 5 individuals, and I'm obviously recording this during March. So we've highlighted 4 of the individuals. We have 1 more to go. But it's been really cool. It's almost a way to kind of build awareness towards, how people can help benefit women in the music industry. We also do the Spotify playlist. So every day of the 31 days of March, we put a new song in the playlist by an incredible woman artist. So we've been doing that too, again, 4th year in a row. And that playlist is built up pretty nice. I might even link that in the bio so you guys can check that out if you use Spotify, of course. But just trying to find out different ways of, highlighting, like I said, ways that people can help. And a lot of that as well has been highlighting organizations. And that's kind of what I want to go into today, is give you guys some organizations that are doing incredible work that directly benefit women in the music industry, places you can volunteer your time to, donate to money, financially, and really just something to be aware of, because I think this stuff is super important, and it's a great way to, like I said, just give back to people that might not have the same opportunities as someone like myself. Because I don't know, I just think being aware of, where your place is in society and the opportunities that have come to you, and just be aware that that's not the case for everybody. Like I said, if I hear something enough, from people, it's like, it's pretty clear the divide between men and women in music is still a big issue. And I think, we've come a long way, but there's so much farther to go. And obviously women are just one of the groups that can be marginalized, can be kind of, just not given those opportunities. So we got to do our part in every aspect that we can. But yeah, I think just being able to highlight some of these organizations is going to be pretty cool today. We've done this in the past on the Appreciation Month. We didn't end up doing any highlights on organizations this year, but some of these organizations that I'm going to talk about today, they were highlighted by us in previous years, whether it was 2022 or 3. I think we might have done a couple last year too, but I'll kind of, let you guys know which ones I'm familiar with. But some of these are new as well. I think there's 10 to 15 of these things. And the article I'm pulling from today is by Stereofox. We've done some articles from them before. I think we just did one like a week ago, honestly. But Stereofox, and this one is 15 organizations which support women in music and work towards equality in the music industry. So I'm not going to read their whole introduction, but I'm kind of just going to dive right into the charities and organizations that they talk about. So the first one is called SheSaid.so. It says SheSaid.so is a global independent community of women and gender minorities from all sectors of the music industry, from record labels, artist management companies, and booking agencies, through to technology platforms, creative agencies, composers, artists, and more. Founded in London in 2014 by Andrea Magdaleni, hopefully I didn't butcher her name, currently has 18 local chapters including London, LA, France, New York City, Italy, and Mumbai. The member count is 12,000, organizes panels and interactive events to discuss industry matters, showcases female artists on their radio, Spotify playlist, and SSSO mix series, celebrates the new creative economy, and challenges the industry's outdated systematic framework with their alternative Power 100 music list. Works towards increasing the number of women who progress in their careers in their mentoring program, She Grows. Establishes brand partnerships for raising awareness, offers membership, shares job opportunities in their job panel. Says their mission is to connect and empower underrepresented communities towards a more equitable music industry for all, one woman or gender minority at a time. We are unwavering in our intersectional approach to women's rights, and we urge the entire industry community to adopt a similar outlook. So I've never heard of this organization, but again, it's probably because it's based out of the UK. But again, they have a couple US chapters, so if you're looking to get involved in that, it sounds like they do a lot of cool things, and they cover a lot of bases. A lot of the organizations that I'm aware of, they don't cover a ton of things. They might just focus solely on one or two things. It sounds like this one covers a wide variety of things, especially for artists specifically, which I think is big. And again, I want to mention all these sites are linked here. So when you go to the YouTube replay, click on the Stereofox article, and then on each bulleted one, like they're all numbered, but each one has the site linked. So I'm not going to go to the sites per se, I'm just going to read them, but you can go to the sites, find out more information on how to get involved in all of these. So yeah. Number 2 is She Is the Music, who we highlighted on Proven Knowledge Women's Appreciation Month, I think in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm very familiar with She Is the Music. She Is the Music is an independent global network that operates as a unifying organization for women from across the industry, creating strength and impact on a global scale, a first-of-its-kind collaboration spanning the music industry. SITM, or She Is the Music, is powered by creators, publishers, record labels, talent agencies, industry groups, media companies, streaming services, and more. Founded by Alicia Keys and Anne Mincelli, it has a database of female creators you can join. Provides resources and support for women-focused initiatives that are working to create meaningful change, both through their programs as well as external efforts around the world. They host writing camps, bringing women recording artists, songwriters, and publishers from across the industry together. Provides mentorship and shares job opportunities. Their mission to increase the number of women working in music songwriters, engineers, producers, artists, and industry professionals to serve women in the industry today, with their initiatives while fostering the development of future generations to create for and build an equal future for music. That's what stood out to me most about She Is the Music, is that they do the big writing camps, and if you follow them on social media, I always see a lot of, they're popping up in different cities. They're popping up in Chicago, New York, LA, Dallas, wherever they go, and they get a lot of different women together. And they have full writing sessions and song creating sessions, and it's strictly women only, which I think is super important. And again, like I said earlier about understanding my place. My place is I'm just another guy making music at the end of the day. I don't know what it's like to be a woman artist or producer. And I've always thought that it was super vital to have things like this where women can have their own space without a man's input on everything. And you really have to put yourself in someone else's shoes as far as, if you are surrounded by all men all the time, if you're a woman, that's got to feel super uncomfortable to an extent. Even if you feel like you trust those people, I can imagine the relatability aspect isn't always there. So I can't even imagine being able to be around, peers and just people that you can relate to a lot more who are also creatives. And that's what, to me, these writing camps do. And I think it's super vital that it, remains a women-only thing for these instances, because that is necessary to have. And I think it's something we as men should look at in a positive light and understand what that means and the power that it has. So just something to keep in mind. That's my view on it. And some of these other ones do the same thing. But I think it's just, you got to really kind of put yourself in that scenario and understand, why that is important and why it does matter at the end of the day. So, number 3, women in music, which we also highlighted, I believe, in 2022. Women in Music is a nonprofit organization that has grown to encompass 25 plus chapters across the globe. Their community members include record label executives, music tech entrepreneurs, artist managers, songwriters, musicians, attorneys, recording engineers, agents, publicists, studio owners, music publishers, marketers, and more. They were founded in 1985 in New York City. They offer membership with access to their educational career development and networking resources, as well as opportunity to find community in a global women in music family. You can even request a new chapter in your own city, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if they would always approve a chapter in your city. I think if you probably got enough people on board and they felt, they were able to deem you the right to have a chapter. I think that's really cool, though, that they let people do that, because a lot of these, I think, are just, if it's a big market city with a lot of people involved, then they'll open a chapter. This is more, if you can organize enough people and get events and things like that, you can do this. So hosts events for members and non-members, showcases female creators on Spotify, offers volunteer opportunities. Their mission is to advance the awareness, equality, diversity, heritage, opportunities, and cultural aspects of women in the musical arts through education, support, empowerment, and recognition. Excuse me. I think that's one of the more unique things, is the power that they give to, anyone that wants to be involved in their platform. And just the thought of that alone, just being able to potentially bring awareness to these things within your own community, and have an organization like that backing you is a big deal. So shout out to them for doing great work. Number 4 is AudioFem. AudioFem is a music and culture blog based in New York. It has existed since 2012 and aims to provide a platform for female and non-binary creators. I can read, guys. Supports creators with their Agenda Artist Grant. Showcases music by female and non-binary creators through reviews, interviews, special premieres. Showcases the work of women and non-binary music journalists. Their mission is to uplift the voices of female and non-binary music writers in an industry dominated by male viewpoints, and to approach music and cultural criticism from an intersectional feminist perspective. So this one, I think this one is very important too, because it tackles a specific, like I said earlier, some of these are very specific. This specifically is for the journalists, and not necessarily the musicians, but the people that write about artists, that cover festivals, that cover big album releases. And it's giving women more leverage in that field. So I think, again, what's cool is that there's so many organizations that are niching it down to very specific roles too, while some of them cover everything or the majority of roles. Some of them are focusing on certain niches that might get overlooked, and I think that's definitely one that might get overlooked. But think about how important music journalism is. Billboard, Complex, Rolling Stone, MTV, here and there, but like all these places, XXL, whatever, they're all forms of music journalism. Anytime you get on social media now, it's any news you're hearing about a big artist, or usually an artist that's pretty prominent, is done through a form of music journalism. So it's huge, and it's vital to the industry. So it's great to hear that there's an organization out there that's trying to kind of level the playing field a bit and give people those chances to be heard and to be able to write about artists and have access to, just letting people know about great music, which I think is the only thing that should be the focus at the end of the day. So number 5 is music production for women. We highlighted this organization, I think, in 2022. It's probably one of the first ones we did, actually. Music Production for Women is a global movement, community, and online education platform which aims to encourage and empower women who are taking their first steps into music production. Founded in 2019 in London by artist and producer Xylo Aria, who I actually still follow on Instagram. I think she runs a podcast too, but she does a lot of awesome things. Definitely check out her work and what she does. She's incredible. Runs periodic music production workshops throughout the UK, Europe, and virtually in conjunction with local music organizations and studios. Offers an introduction to music production, online courses, as well as free online intro to music production masterclass. Offers a membership for female producers. Hosts a podcast about production techniques, gear, and other related topics, which I think is what I was just talking about. Don't know the name of the podcast. You'll have to check that out, but it is linked here as well. Mission is to instill confidence in any woman interested in approaching music production, to empower her to take the first steps with the backing of our full community. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about how important it is to, surround yourself with the peers that you feel comfortable with. And I can tell you, just from being a fan of music production and being involved in that world for so long, it's definitely male dominated, 100%. Like, it just is. And I always just feel bad because it's like I feel like there's so many awesome women producers out there that are even that I honestly feel they would be afraid to even kind of put themselves out there, which is a shame. But it's because of it being so male dominated and the toxicity and all that BS that goes along with not everybody, obviously, but it goes along with the stigma of being involved in that world sometimes. And that can be very overwhelming. So, again, I think it's very important that, you know, there's communities of strictly women who are producers, who are doing the teaching, who are doing the guidance. You know, you're not saying, oh, we want women to be producers and have careers, but we're going to have a man come in and teach them. Like, that's, to me, that doesn't do any good. Like, that's why it has to be strictly women involved in this mission, in this journey. So I think that is very vital. And again, as someone with, you know, the production background specifically, I think women producers definitely starting to get more of a name and more notoriety, which I think is great because there's so many great ones out there. But I think it just has to continue to be talked about and pushed forward, and people need to be aware of it. So, number 6, Women's Audio Mission. We highlighted them in 2022 for sure. Women's Audio Mission is a San Francisco, Oakland-based nonprofit organization and the only professional recording studio in the world built and run by women individuals. It attracts over 2,000 underserved women and girls every year to the STEM and creative technology studios or studies that inspire them to amplify their voices and become the innovators of tomorrow. Their award-winning curriculum weaves art, music, and science, technology, and computer programming, and works to close the critical gender gap in creative technology careers. Founded in 2003 by Terry Winston, a songwriter, composer, recording engineer, and producer, as well as a professor and director of the Sound Recording Arts program at the City College of San Francisco for 10 years, shares educational videos on its YouTube channel that focus on music and audio technology, organizes conferences on recording arts, provides training in professional audio and recording arts for adults, offers online training courses, offers creative technology and digital media training as part of their program Girls on the Mic, an after-school training and mentoring program serving the Bay Area girls and gender-expansive youth ages 11 through 18 from under-resourced communities. Showcases female and gender non-conforming musicians and performers, representative of the diverse communities of the Bay Area, on their performance series Local Sirens, offers a membership. Their mission is to change the face of sound by providing hands-on training, work experience, career counseling, and job placement to women and girls in creative technology for music, radio, television, film, and the internet. So it sounds like they do a lot of community-based work, especially in California, in the Bay Area. So if you live in the Bay Area and you just happen to see this, definitely check them out. That would be a great organization to get involved in. But even if you're not, like they said, you can get involved just by visiting their site and figuring out how and which ways you want to contribute. So I think what they're doing is super, super awesome. And like it said, just about being able to give opportunity to people that, you know, might not have a lot of financial income or anything like that, or just have lack of access to certain opportunities. Being able to give them those chances is huge. So I love what they're doing. Next up, we have Sound Girls. I believe we highlighted Sound Girls in probably last year. It was probably 2024. Might have been 2023. They're a little more low key from what I can tell. At least their like social media and stuff is. They don't do a ton of stuff on social media, but they do have quite a presence still. Sound Girls exists to provide a support network for women and non-binary people working in the professional audio industry, and to assist those with a drive to be successful in audio. Sound Girls is not restricted to women only and is open to anyone who has a desire and drive to succeed in professional audio. The ratio of men members is approximately 65% women, 35% men. Sound Girls welcomes all genders and non-binary people. It has a chapter in the USA, Canada, Mexico, UK, Netherlands, and Bulgaria. Offers a free membership which grants access to discounts, exclusive events, panels, workshops, job resources, networking opportunities, and more. They have a podcast with audio professionals from all walks of life. They organize educational events and conferences. They offer jobs and internships and mentoring. Provides info on women, industry directories, including Spotify's Equal. Spotify partner with Sound Girls to create the Equal directory. Showcases women in audio on their website. Their mission is to inspire and empower the next generation of women in audio, to create a supportive community for women in audio and music production by providing the tools, knowledge, and support to further their careers. So again, they have a podcast, definitely check it out. But I think it's interesting that men make up a good portion of their members. I did not know that, honestly. I don't even think I knew that when I researched them and we highlighted them. So that's something I learned today. But, if you are a man out there, you want to get involved, and you want to be a member of a certain platform, I mean, it sounds like that would be the way to go for sure. Next up, we have We Are Moving the Needle, which we did highlight, but I don't remember the year. It was probably maybe last year. I honestly don't remember, but I do remember highlighting them. We Are Moving the Needle is a nonprofit organization supporting all women recording industry professionals, audio engineers, and producers. The organization provides resources and support both to those at the very start of their education, as well as those in their recording and production careers battling the overwhelmingly male-dominated landscape of the industry. Founded by Grammy-winning and 8-time nominated mastering engineer Emily Laser, provides scholarships and grants to music technology and recording programs at academies, colleges, and universities. Their scholarship to the Blackbird Academy for Audio Engineering. They donate recording equipment, including software and hardware and other technologies, and they offer mentorship to their members. Their mission is to close the gender gap and bring equity and inclusion to the present recording industry, as well as guarantee growth and progress for the generations to come. I think just the gear part alone is so big, because that kind of goes back to people that don't have access to the financial ability to afford certain types of gear. If you can just get that type of gear in front of a kid and just say, hey, like, this is yours to use to help you learn production or learn how to record your voice or whatever, and they're just teaching these kids how to use this stuff, like, that goes a long way, because it makes that barrier of entry, it lowers the bar down to be able to include everybody, which is at the end of the day in the arts and music, like we gotta just be able to include everyone, because everyone should have access to this type of thing, because in my opinion, everybody has the right to be expressive and be creative in their own way, and unfortunately, money is a big thing that can be that barrier of entry where a lot of people might not get access to that. So I think, like I said, it's important that there's people that are lowering the barrier of entry, but just making it more accessible to people that might not have that type of circumstance to be able to have that. And again, they're not the only ones that are doing it, because we mentioned some others as well. But I just think that's super cool. Shout out to them for doing that. Next up, we have the Women's International Music Network. The Women's International Music Network works to expose role models, events, and educational opportunities that focus on women in music while creating opportunities for performance and networking. I'm going to start kind of condensing some of these down, so feel free to read up on a lot of them, because we are kind of running short on time here. But I'm going to kind of give you guys the missions of these and definitely let you know about the rest of them. Their mission is to bring the conversation around diversity in the industry into the forefront and create a hub to connect women in all facets of the industry. I've never heard of this one specifically, but yeah, definitely take a look at what they're doing. And it sounds like they do a lot of events, which I think is super cool, and in-person events definitely go a long way. Next up, we have Women Produce Music. They are a nonprofit organization that enables female composers and producers to network and collaborate. Their mission is to build a global network, one album and city at a time, opening doors to industry's commercial possibilities and providing career progression opportunities through women-led networks, innovation, art, and technology. It sounds like they also do some research-based things. They do opportunities for collaboration. They have a series called In Collab, which brings a lot of individuals together and different people from different facets of the music space to be able to work together. So that's definitely something to look into if you're looking for that more collaborative experience, I'd say. Next up, Key Change. Supported by the Creative Europe program of European Union, Key Change is a global network and movement working towards a total restructuring of the music industry in reaching full gender equality. It invests in emerging talent whilst encouraging music organizations to sign up to a gender balance pledge. Key Change is an extensive program of career development for women and gender minority artists and industry innovators. So this is strictly Europe-based, but a lot of cool things here. I think that pledge sounds pretty interesting. They do some different events throughout the year. It sounds like they've been doing this since 2017 as well. So 7 or 8 years at this point. It says their mission is to create sustainable change in the industry and show that it is possible for festivals and any music organization to successfully achieve balance. So again, tackling another side of the industry, organizing festivals is a big thing. Live entertainment is a huge part of the industry. So it sounds like they deal with a lot of that as well. I'm going to go to the final one. There are a couple more you guys can check out, but I'm going to skip to the one that I am familiar with, and it's actually the closer, and it's Girls Make Beats, who we highlighted a couple years ago, and this is the organization that I feel personally most strongly about, and just the work that they're doing is incredible. I mean, if you follow their social media, they're just doing so much awesome things for kids out there that want to become producers and young girls who want to learn music production and make a career out of it. They actually just did, probably a few weeks ago, they were on the Jennifer Hudson show, and they brought out some girls to be on the show and talk about their experience in the course. And then Common ended up coming out and meeting them. And I forget, I feel like Common, was gonna freestyle to their beats or something. It was something like that. It was a really cool thing. But they're doing things like that all the time, bringing in different producers like Jayla Darden, who's one of my favorite women artists and a producer. She's done some workshops with them to teach girls how to make beats, which I think is super cool. It says Girls Make Beats is a nonprofit organization that empowers girls by expanding the female presence of producers, DJs, and engineers. Girls Make Beats works with ages 5 to 17 and has strategically partnered with industry titans, music professionals, and educational institutes to create unparalleled opportunities for the children in their program. Also provides girls with an opportunity to unite and collaborate within the music industry. Their mission is to create real world opportunities for girls to break barriers in the industry. Like I said, when you go to their social media, you'll see pictures, videos, all kinds of stuff of them organizing studio sessions. And like it says, it's kids that are 5 to 17. So it's like, imagine what that's like for a kid who would have never got that opportunity, or maybe not have gotten that type of opportunity without a program like that stepping up and creating that. And again, it just shows the power that it has, really. So shout out to them. They, like, if I had to pick a favorite, I'm not gonna pick favorites because these are all great, but I just love what I see from Girls Make Beats. And again, that's personal to me because I am a producer, and I just love seeing different people get the opportunity to experience what it's like to be involved in that world of production and learn it and be able to enjoy creating. So I think that one definitely means a lot to me personally, for sure. But that is a lot of the organizations. Like I said, there's a few more. We're just getting crunched for time here, and I want to be able to make sure I can export this thing and upload it tonight. So don't want to go super long, but this is a topic that is boundless. It's a topic that, like I said, needs to keep being talked about, and I'm going to try to do something like this again in the future too. Maybe every month in March or every year in March. I can come up with something related to this because we're going to keep doing the Women's Appreciation Month. We're going to keep finding ways to, highlight women artists, people in the industry, just do what we can to kind of spread the word and spread the support, for sure. But I hope, this did something for you guys. If anything, maybe it just kind of made you more aware. But if you were already aware, it gives you a lot of different organizations to support, to look into, to keep an eye out for. And if you want to get involved in any of them, like I said, go to the Stereo Fox article, check them all out. They have all the websites under the little bullet points. I have a couple other articles as well. Songtrust did one called Online Resources for Women in Music. And then the Grammys themselves did one called Jam Together with Steve Cropper, the guitar legend on Friendly Town, making his own rules and playing. Oh, is that? Hold on a minute. Let me see if this is the one from last week. I could have swore I had 3 this week, but maybe I didn't. Spirit Box. Huh. Yeah, I don't think that's one that I found. I could have swore I found another, but I feel like that one is not the one I found. So I guess we only have 2 this week, guys. But I think the good thing is that the Stereo Fox one covers like a lot of the ground, a lot of the bases of what I was trying to get across, which is there's just a lot of ways for you to get involved. So don't overlook that. If it's something that speaks to you and you feel strongly about, and you want to get involved, definitely do that. But otherwise, check out what we've been doing over at Proven Knowledge on my account, on my Instagram, which is Anthony Church Music, the Proven Knowledge pages, all that good stuff. I mean, we've been doing all kinds of stuff and highlighting some awesome women out there that are just incredible creatives, like no joke. So, like I said, going to keep doing that, and I hope this did something for you guys, spoke to you in some type of way. But shout out to all the women creatives out there, doing amazing work. And, we're definitely going to keep highlighting you over here on this side. So just continue on, press on, keep up the great work, and to all those organizations as well. We appreciate you for everything you do, and any way that we can get involved, we will definitely do so. But again, I got to thank you guys for tuning in again this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about email lists, building an email list as a music maker, the power that can have, my experience with it, of course, but just why it's so important in today's age of social media to also have an email list. So that's April 1st. Yeah, I think that's April 1st. Next Monday, same time, all that good stuff. But until then, stay safe, stay positive, all that good stuff. You guys already know. But thanks for checking this one out, and we will see you next time. Take care, guys.